guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ophelia if you are new here, and if you are not, welcome back. In today's video, I am going to be doing a first trimester recap. It's crazy how fast this pregnancy has gone. I'm just pretty much gonna tell you guys my experience during my first trimester. Every woman is completely different. I have two sisters. I have my mom, and just with them and me, we're so different. Our symptoms and stuff like that happened very differently. And then I also have some close friends who recently were pregnant, and their pregnancy was a complete turnaround than what my pregnancy has been. And lastly, this pregnancy has a lot of differences from my first pregnancy. So with that being said, this video is, just my experience. You could have a whole different experience. I also don't want to scare anybody, like telling you how bad my morning sickness was. I'm not trying to scare any mommies out there, especially if you're currently in your first trimester. I don't mean to scare you, but I do want to help you, and I do want you to know what to expect. I think, like, for me, just knowing what symptoms to expect helps me, so that when I do if I do go through any of those symptoms, it's not so scary. I know this is what I'm supposed to expect. And then of course, if you don't go through any of these, it doesn't mean something's wrong. It just means that your pregnancy is going to be different. That's it. So with that being said, let's get straight into it. I am about to enter my third trimester. So I have my phone here to take. I took some notes. I found out I was pregnant at 4 weeks. My symptoms was, of course, a missed period, peeing a lot, headaches, thirsty, and cramping. It wasn't too bad. Just I noticed that I had headaches, extra thirsty. I noticed I was drinking a lot more water than usual, and some light cramping. Not period cramping, it's very light cramping. So I took a pregnancy test Friday, came out positive, and then I went to my first doctor's appointment. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, but this appointment was with my primary care just to confirm. I didn't want to go to a midwife or OBGYN if it was a false alarm. So I just wanted to go and get tested. And to tell you the truth, when I went to that appointment, it wasn't my primary, it was at my primary doctor's office, but they have multiple doctors there. And that doctor made me feel kind of dumb because he kind of just told me, like, why are you here? Like, it's the same test that you take at home. And I was like, excuse me, like, I thought it was the right thing to do. From what I know, I thought you're supposed to go and like confirm your pregnancy before calling your OBGYN or midwife. Maybe that doctor was just having a bad day, I don't know. But anyways, confirmed there. They just did a urine test, confirmed to me that I was pregnant, and that was it. From 4 weeks of finding out to 7 weeks, in between those weeks, I had no symptoms. It feels so funny and it feels so weird, those 3 weeks, because you're pregnant, but you don't feel pregnant, and you just feel weird. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I just remember telling my husband, I feel so weird. I'm pregnant, but I don't feel pregnant, because you obviously don't have a bump. It's too early. And I didn't have any symptoms. And so you kind of feel excited and hopeful that you're not going to get morning sickness. With this one, I was almost 7 weeks with no symptoms. So I was like, yes, I'm not going to get no symptoms on this one. I'm not going to get morning sickness. I'm not going to get the tiredness, because with my first, I did get the tiredness very early. That was one of the first signs in my first pregnancy. My first pregnancy, around 6 weeks, 5-6 weeks, I was so tired. I was a college student at the time, and I started to fail my classes because I could not stay awake. I could not attend classes. I would just sleep. So this pregnancy, fast forward to this pregnancy, I wasn't feeling that. And so you start to get really excited. But then I turned 7 weeks, and at 7 weeks, my life changed around. I started to get nauseous. I started to feel sick just looking at certain things. They made me just feel so nauseous. So I knew, like, dang it, I knew this was it. Also at 7 weeks, I stopped drinking coffee. I am definitely a coffee girl. I love having my coffee every morning, and sometimes I'll have 2 cups. So at 7 weeks, I stopped drinking coffee. I remember it like it was yesterday. I did the same routine, made my coffee, made my breakfast. I sat down and I couldn't drink my coffee. It made me nauseous, sick to my stomach. 8 weeks was when it got real. 8 weeks, it got the toughest week yet, is what I have on here. I was tired, very, very, very tired, sleeping. Like, if you've been pregnant, you know. If you haven't been pregnant, I don't know how to explain to you what this feels like. But it's like if you haven't slept, you wake up in the morning and you feel like you haven't slept in 3 days. That's the best that I can explain. And so I would wake up and come straight to my couch. I have a toddler. At the time she was 1, she's now 2. And yeah, I couldn't function. I'm that type of mom who always has activities for her. We have our days planned. We have breakfast, lunch, dinner, home cooked meals. But during these early stages, I was not able to. Drink water for some reason. Water made me nauseous and it made my morning sickness worse. But some tricks that helped me during these really tough moments: chewing bubble gum. So bubble gum helped me a lot. If you saw me, all I was doing was chewing bubble gum. I felt nauseous, I would just get a gum, start chewing it, and it would go away. I don't know how that works, but it would go away. Lemon packets, I don't have any around me, but I'll insert a picture here. Lemon packets help me. Just having lemon and salt in my mouth would help with my nauseous. Eating slow, and when I say slow, I mean slow. And from 9 to 12 weeks, my symptoms were just getting worse and worse. At this point, I was not able to eat anything. I had no appetite. Very nauseous with anything, including water. I still could not drink water. The only thing that would help is those lemon packets that I mentioned already. And then, so apart from being fatigued because of pregnancy, now I was also experiencing very low energy because I wasn't consuming any food. I wasn't eating. So my energy was even lower. I used to drink teas. I think I still have some. I'll insert an image here of the teas that I drank. I made sure they didn't have any caffeine, and I think they were like something with lemon. And those helped me also with constipation, because I did start to experience constipation at this point. I was not able to drink water, so I was drinking Gatorade. No sugar. The no sugar one was the one that was able to come into my system. A lot of foods that I couldn't eat, for example, spaghetti. There was just days where I couldn't eat it. Bananas, spaghetti. What else there was so many foods that I just could not eat. The symptom of my first trimester was obviously because of no eating. I did lose weight. I just want to say losing weight is actually very normal in your first trimester. I lost weight in my first and second pregnancy. Always ask your midwife, OBGYN, but it is normal. I don't know if I mentioned this already, but my first prenatal appointment was scheduled. I think I was 7 weeks. I was about 7 weeks, and you can schedule your appointment when you're from 6 to 8 weeks. It just depends the place that you go see. And I think that's all that I have written down as far as my first trimester. So yeah, that is my first trimester recap. I struggled mentally, I struggled emotionally, not a lot of happy days, just pretty much tired, on the couch, sleeping. Thankful for my husband, because he would come home from work and take hold of my baby, of our baby girl. He would just take over. And I was breastfeeding at the time, so it was really hard to be pregnant, experience all the fatigue, experience all the morning sickness, the nauseousness, and just all of that, the vomiting. I was vomiting in my first trimester, And breastfeeding, taking care of a toddler, very different than my first pregnancy when I didn't have any other baby to take care of. My first pregnancy, I definitely was more relaxed, more chilled, less stressed. But my second pregnancy, I did have another toddler, you know, chasing and looking after. And mainly the main thing was like just knowing that I had to nurse her. Like no matter how tired I was, I had to get up at some point. I think at the time she would eat every 2 to 3 hours. So I would have to suck it up and nurse my girl. But super grateful for my husband for helping that first trimester. Just a couple things that I want to mention about my first trimester. In my first trimester, it's when we told my close family members that we were expecting. We told everyone because we just couldn't hold our excitement. So we told them when I was 4 weeks, very early, I know. And then we publicly announced it, I think around 8, 9 weeks. I will say that I was so miserable. The last thing I cared about was announcing it publicly, but my close family members were anxious and they wanted us to announce. So we ended up doing a picture where you couldn't see my face because that's how miserable I was. We also did find out the gender, and we had a gender reveal in the first trimester. The place that I go to offers for you to be able to get a blood work done where you find out early on. And in this clip right here, where you see me eating, I remember this day I was gonna get a haircut, or I did get a haircut, and I was so miserable. I like hated life. I had no energy. I got my hair cut, but I didn't even get like the blowout and all that stuff that you normally get on a haircut. Um, Also here, we had so many birthdays in my first trimester. We had my mom's birthday, my husband's birthday, and as much as fun as it looks like I was having, I was miserable. I was not eating. Everybody was enjoying their meals except me. It was really, really tough. I have to say, looking back at all these photos and videos brings me back to how miserable I was. I couldn't eat anything, and I was like, I'm the one pregnant. I should be the one enjoying all these foods. But instead, I was struggling to stay alive. Else on this, the first trimester, I did start showing early on. My first pregnancy, I didn't show, I don't think, until my second trimester. You could kind of tell, but in this pregnancy, I did start to show right away. And I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you guys have any questions, if I forgot to mention anything and you want to ask, go ahead, feel free to comment down anything below. So that is all, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to what my experiences have been in this pregnancy. I'll see you guys on the next one.